How bad was last night's show, you ask? Well, it's not even 5 a.m. and Starbucks isn't even open yet, but you see, that's okay. Because you see, last night's show was so damn bad that a cup of coffee wouldn't even get us amped enough. No, you see, we're gonna need a box of coffee. Thankfully, the fine people from Dunkin' came up with a crazy concept. Coffee in your cereal. And if you ain't familiar with Dunkin', by the way, formerly known as Dunkin' Donuts, well, let's just say it's a way of life where I grew up in New England. In fact, I didn't even hear of Starbucks until I moved to New York City and hung around the tri-state area, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. But up in New England, man, there's something in those beans. Something about Dunkin' coffee just gets me ultra amplified. And we don't do no bitch boy Braden size bowls. No, we ain't 12 years old. You see, we go Big Daddy status with amplified depth. With this bad boy, you can pack a half a box of coffee cereal and truly get amped. And why, you ask? The why is simple. Because you guys deserve the very best review. And we need, for this shit show anyway, a little 3.0 action. So we will proceed to eat our coffee and rip this son of a bitchin' show to shreds. And that process begins right now. Now, if I could say just one thing to Vincent Kennedy McMahon, it would be, what is your major malfunction, Private Pile? I don't know what it is with Monday Night Raw, but that damn show is incapable. It's incapable of producing a good show. I would be ecstatic at this point to get 1/3 of a decent show. 1/3! I'm not even asking for much. I'm not asking you to move mountains. 1/3 of the show to interest me in some way, dude. Even SmackDown is able, 40% of the time, to put out some good shit. And SmackDown is still far away from producing consistently good shows, but they produce some good segments, good characters, some good matches. I have my fears when this Sasha Banks and Bayley is finished because they rushed it. Once it started to get hot and heavy, now it looks like the writing is on the wall. They're already going to have their next match this Friday. How much longer can you go? And then where do they go with the women's division? I'm hoping they catapult Bianca Belair in the right way. And after Jey Uso and Roman Reigns is finished, because how much longer can you go? Then what? These have been the hottest feuds. Some of the hottest feuds in all of pro wrestling. But when they're done, can SmackDown keep it up? But at least there's some good over on the blue side. The red side, what the fuck are they doing? They're incapable of producing anything good. This isn't even an embellishment. I am not exaggerating at all. This is not for dramatic purposes. I do not have any emotion when I watch a 3-hour Monday Night Raw. Guys, that's serious. That's not just for entertainment. That's not to get clicks, some views, some fucking likes. That is legit the truth. I have no emotion every Monday for 3 hours straight. I feel nothing with this show. In fact, Vince McMahon has an incredible superpower that he beholds. Not only does he not make superstars, but he has some crazy ability to do the opposite. This son of a bitch found a way to make us not care about people. He found a way to make us feel nothing for dudes that should be superstars in that company. But we feel nothing. There was a match last night with Braun Strowman and Keith Lee. They were taking on Shea with a triple threat. And I kid you not, I couldn't help but think, if booked properly, Braun Strowman the past 2 years should have been your residential monster. And Keith Lee, for the next years to come, should be your future residential monster. Instead, they're both ass clowns. They're both dipshits fiddling with their thumbs up their fucking asses, while none of us give a fuck about them. That is the truth. They can be in triple threats, fatal fours, battle royals, ladder matches, Texas death match. It wouldn't matter. If you don't make us care about the people, it doesn't matter what you're doing with them. We have to believe in the actual wrestler. We have to care about them. We have to have a reason to. When you 50-50 book people or you book them into irrelevancy, what do you think your audience is gonna do, dude? We're not gonna be over the moon ecstatic when they come through the curtain because they're irrelevant. We go from Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Warrior, man, the feeling we used to have when they came through the curtain, to Stone Cold and The Rock and even Triple H and The Undertaker, that feeling when they came through the curtain. As much as I don't like this son of a bitch, even CM Punk gave me a certain feeling when we stepped through. You had a position that anything could come out of this dude's mouth. Anything could happen. Because half the time the dude legit just doesn't give a shit. So even though I don't like the dude on a personal level, professionally speaking, the dude was solid. As far as unpredictability, I can fucking speak. Unpredictability, me saying that stupid word is more entertaining than this show. I could watch a half an hour Simpsons, and I don't even watch The Simpsons, but I bet you I'll have more emotion. Something within that show will suspend everything else for just a moment, and I can get lost in the stupidity of The Simpsons. Winnie the Pooh! Winnie the Pooh would be more interesting. Because I feel nothing on this fucking show every single Monday. The superstars, the segments, the matches, with the exception, obviously, of Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, because they are fucking masterful. They are amazing. But you can't have a whole 3-hour show of Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt. Although I would love it. That would be better than the 3 hours they produce. Just give me a 3-hour Firefly Funhouse. I bet you it would be amazing. But you can't have them carry a 3-hour show. It does nothing for the company or other people trying to make a name for themselves. I understand. And then you have people like Drew McIntyre, who's a bona fide superstar. But the way they're booking this guy, I can't get an emotion. I can't get a certain feeling that I would like to get. Like when he steps through the curtain and McIntyre's the guy, dude. This is going to be a fun 20 minutes. This is going to be a great match. This is going to be an awesome promo. This segment's going to kick ass. I don't have any of that. They booked this shit stupid as fuck. They end this show with a fucking McIntyre victory. He turns around into an RKO, and then we hear the Fiends laugh, and we go off the air. A fucking middle schooler can book this shit, and you're telling me they're paying people. They're paying people on their creative staff to do this shit, to write this. 612 is like, we'll have McIntyre win against Miz and Morrison, and he'll turn around, and Randy will be there, and he'll RKO him, and then we'll have Bray laugh, and we'll go off the air. How the fuck are you paying somebody for that? You at home. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. You couldn't book that shit? That is as simplistic as can be. As imaginable. It is pathetic. You're weeks away from the Survivor Series. You're in the middle of a pandemic. Now more than ever, people are craving, yearning for entertainment. Now is where you can get creative. You can do so much shit without a live crowd there. Go to the parking lot more. Go to the bar rooms. Go to the fucking an alley. Go behind the scenes more. Tell stories. Nothing. Nothing. They just throw one segment after another out there and hope something sticks. When if you're not caring about the superstars, caring about the matches, caring about what the fuck you're doing, nobody else is going to do such. If you're telling me your 3-hour show is going to have 2 Nia Jax matches, 2! A tag team match with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and then a one-on-one match with, who the fuck, Lana? I think it was Lana. Check my fucking notes here. Lana. So she has a match with Dana and Mandy, and then a match with Lana. 2 Nia Jax matches. That's exactly what we want to see, said nobody ever. A handicap match is ending your night with Morrison and Miz. Yes, they got some comedy skills, no doubt. They work great together chemistry-wise. Do I need to see them versus McIntyre in the main event a couple of weeks before your final big pay-per-view of the year? Of course not! And that's another issue, Survivor Series. What an ugly card. They put zero care into this motherfucker. We're doing this 5-on-5 like anybody gives a shit. Like anybody is seriously wanting to win this or needing to win this. This isn't like years past when you kind of felt like there was bragging rights on the line, right? Remember when Becky Lynch led everybody in to Monday Night Raw for Team Blue? And they were standing tall and there was brand supremacy on the line. There's none of that. Because for the past year, you've been talking about some wild card rule. And then even when there wasn't a wild card rule, you were just bringing everybody any which way you wanted. Anything to fit McMahon's needs. Superstars were showing up where the fuck they wanted. There was no brand split ever this year. There just wasn't. So now when there's brand supremacy on the line, we're supposed to suspend what happened this year? Bullshit, dude! So they're all fighting tooth and nail to get on these teams, and nobody has stopped for one moment and thought, why are we doing this again? What is this all about? Because they set this thing up, this triple threat, to try to get Braun Strowman on the team. They set this thing up with what seemed 75 minutes last night. It was mind-numbing how long it took just to set up this fucking triple threat when the end result was just to get Braun onto this fucking team. Watching this 3 hours of Monday Night Raw is like reliving losing your virginity. It's like having sex for the first time and putting it on Groundhog Day every Monday. Because every Monday night, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows who or what goes where. And by the end of the experience, you realize it sucked. Same thing as losing your virginity. Same thing as having sex for the first time. Every single Monday, you are left with the same feeling. Boy, did that suck. There's no feeling. There isn't a moment of genuine laughter during the 3 hours. There isn't. There isn't a moment where I'm caught up in some good drama that is happening. There isn't a moment where I'm lost in suspense or lost in a moment or segment. There is none of it. Nothing. Zero, guys. Other than 27 yawns and about 9 to 10 times literally falling into a slumber. What starts off as a deep sleep you think you're going into ends up a deep depression. That is what this show does. Don't even try to fucking... If you like it, awesome, dude. This is not the channel for you. It's just not. It's just not. I'm trying to help you out, dog. There's a million other channels probably that you can go to and get your rocks off. Talk about how great Mandy and Dana versus Nia and Shayna was. Talk about how great Lana versus Nia was. Talk about how great Bobby Lashley versus R-Truth in that crazy 90-second match was. Talk about how epic Ricochet versus Tucker was. Oh, I'll get to that in a second too, by the way. Oh, wait till I get to the fucking review, which I haven't even gotten into yet, segment by segment. But if that's what you're entertained by, that's awesome, dude. I'm on another whole fucking level. My standards are off the fucking charts in your world, if that's the case. And if you're one of those, BC, man, it's like this, BC. If you don't like it, just don't watch. Nobody's forcing you to watch it, BC. I love this shit. If I love something, I'm not going to give up on it. I love my Green Bay Packers. They suck. Don't let the record fool you. That's not a 5-2 team. They're a fucking joke. Sheer luck got them to that fucking record. Because I assure you, we have a non-existent defense. We have an offense that is just as irrelevant. We have Aaron Rodgers, who sometimes shows up to play football and other times acts like that's the last place he wants to be is on that football field. That team sucks. I'm not fooled by records. My Yankees, they have not won a World Series in over a fucking decade. Can't even get to a fucking World Series. I don't give up on them. My New York Knicks! Are you serious? Are you serious, bro? My Knicks! They're the worst team in the NBA for over 2 decades. I don't give up on them. I watch basically every game that I can. I'm not going to give up on this shit. I'm going to speak out and voice out. Because somebody has to. If enough people just give up or give in, McMahon wins. Oh, we'll get more people down the road. That's his motto, right? Oh, let's get rid of them. They'll stop trashing the product. We'll start getting better publicity. We'll get newer sheep. That's what we'll get, more sheep. And no matter when, if I walked away tomorrow from it, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if I check in on pro wrestling, it'll be even worse off, if that's even fucking possible. Or just non-existent. No longer around. Somebody has to fucking speak up. Might as well be me. May take years off of a lifespan. So be. We rock. Somebody has to fucking do the job. Because nobody in those walls of Stamford, Connecticut, nobody in that company is doing the fucking job. Or at least not correctly. They hire 614 fucking writers for what? If the old man is the be-all, end-all anyway. And if alls we're gonna get is an opening segment that sets up a handicap match main event, and then in that main event, we just have a victor, a turnaround RKO, and some laughter. That's what we waited 3 hours for that finish. That's what you produced in a 3-hour show? Bro. Something has to, we need a spark from start to finish, beginning to end, top to bottom. We need a spark, something that ignites the show for all of us to say, this is the place to be for the next 3 hours. I can't wait for this segment and that segment, and damn, that main event's gonna be awesome. I have to see what this superstar does. I need to see the outcome of this segment. These are the questions we used to ask back in the day. I ask none of them now. Now I watch Monday Night Raw in a fucking cumbersome slumber, hoping for a moment that might catch me off guard, that might surprise me and pique my interest. When I used to say we watch Raw lately, and by lately I mean for years now, out of habit and hope, those words are never more true than right now. And when Jey Uso and Roman Reigns is done on SmackDown and Bayley and Sasha is done on SmackDown, I don't know if they can recreate two badass feuds like that because the company has not shown me that they can produce such. So I don't even know where the blue brand goes after those two feuds. Just when you think the company cannot sink any lower, just when you think we voiced out and we get a couple of good feuds over on SmackDown, maybe somebody's listening, maybe they're trying to change. Just when you think such, the company drops even lower. You can hate the messenger all you want, that's fine. I'm the bad guy, the boogeyman. I'm the asshole! But you will know the truth. And the truth is that this show is awful garbage. It just is. I take zero pleasure in saying that. I respect every single one of those men and women that go out there and bust their ass. I don't care if it's a promo or a match, a backstage segment, or you're middle of the ring. You're in the parking lot brawling, or you're in a barroom brawl. I respect them all. I just wish I cared about them all. Or at least some. This show started out with Randy Orton cutting a promo on Wyatt and McIntyre. Alexa Bliss hits the ring and Orton asks, "Where is he?" Alexa responds, "He could be here." And the lights dim to red. But it's not the Fiend, it's McIntyre. And Orton gets a Claymore. Miz and Morrison hit the ring. Miz is cashing his money in the bank, but McIntyre returns to the ring, takes them both out. This would be a decent start. But they gave us nothing to look forward to other than a handicap match. All of that was just to lead to Miz and Morrison versus Drew McIntyre. That's it. That's what I mean. Just when you think, hey, maybe they have something here. No. They run out of steam halfway through. They have nowhere to go. And it becomes too much work to even care about it anymore in depth. So they just give up. This will set up a handicap match. Boom. Just send Miz and Morrison out there. They'll take another L at the end. And this will all just lead to Orton RKO at the end. And oh yeah, I forgot about the Fiend. We'll just have him do his laugh afterwards. This just seems like we're bothering them. It seems like we're bothering them by asking them to put on a Monday Night Raw show. Am I right? It looks like they cannot be inconvenienced. Oh, Raw? Tonight? Shit. Give them Miz and Morrison and Drew. Have Randy come in and do something after the match. Fuck, the Fiend. I forgot about the Fiend. Have the laughter, and then just go to black. And the next week's Survivor Series? No, Vince, we still have a couple more Raws. Well, damn it! I'm sure we can put together some rematches. He's just trying to get through shit. Money, 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 money. He's trying to suck pennies out of everybody. He doesn't even give a fuck. He probably realizes he's at the tail end of his whirlwind anyway, so he's going to suck the pennies out of everybody, and when the company is good and basically gone at that point, he can be like, oh well, I got everything out of it, I got the good out of it, now it's in your hands, I'm out of here. How low can this motherfucker go? Tune in every fucking Monday, because we're all finding out together. So that opening segment set up a fucking handicap match. I mean, how can you be excited to watch 3 hours? 3 hours of this show, knowing that that's the culminating moment. And if you're banking on people needing to tune in because they got to see what happens if McIntyre's gonna do a run-in, or I'm sorry, fucking Randy Orton, because it's McIntyre versus Miz and Morrison. Well, we've seen Randy Orton do a run-in on McIntyre 17 times. You act like this is a new feud. They've been feuding for 4 fucking months. Since the summer. So, we've seen Orton run in on McIntyre. We've seen McIntyre run in on Orton. We've seen them brawl every which way you possibly can. So that's not exciting anybody. So then you're thinking maybe the Fiend's gonna show up. Well, you better have something awesome, something epic planned then, if that's what you're gonna have people hang for 3 hours around for. And no, they just have Bray laugh. They do his laughter. And quickly, too. They had time management issues. So Bray laughed for about 3 seconds, and then they just immediately went off the air. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. First match of the night. Oh, you're gonna love this. A guitar? Can't make this shit up. A guitar on a pole match. Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Half the match was these two trying to get the guitar that's up on the fucking pole. This match is absolutely bonkers to me. For the past several weeks, all they have been doing to one another is bashing each other with a guitar. So now they're like, well, that's all we're gonna have them do this week anyway, so we might as well put the guitar in the actual match. And that's all they did. Hardy ends up conquering that goal. What a lofty goal it is. And he gets the guitar. And from the top rope, he delivers a guitar shot to Elias's back. And it was kind of a botch, to be honest with you, because Hardy didn't land it square, so the guitar never exploded. So the culminating moment was a botch. But the entire match, you could say, was a botch. And this isn't the end of these two. They're going to continue to bash each other with a guitar for the next several weeks, leading right through Survivor Series, I assure you. 40 minutes into this show, and nothing so far is justifying me spending my time, my Monday night, watching this show. This may seem like a hard critique, but it's reality. It didn't get any better because next was a non-title tag match between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And sure enough, Lana, for zero reason, comes down to ringside. I told you guys that was going to happen in yesterday's preview video. It happened right from the jump. Right before this match starts, here comes Lana. No reason. It's almost like she's begging to go through another fucking table. The match was a whopping 3 minutes, probably for the best, for all of us. Baszler passes out Dana Brooke, and I think the most shocking thing in all of this is that Lana stayed away from all of the tables in the Thunderdome. Lana actually didn't go through a table for the first week in 8 weeks. Oh, but hold on. Wait till you see what happens later on with Nia and Lana. Oh, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about it. Lana didn't go through a table finally. For now. Only in hour number 1. And hour number 1 ends with Bobby Lashley defeating R-Truth in 71 seconds. Maybe less. Maybe my timing was a little off like WWE's timing last night. Lashley wins via the full Lashley or Truth or Hurt Lock, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Post-match, Drew Gulak hits the ring and tries to pin Truth for the 24/7 title, but Lashley puts Gulak in the Hurt Lock. And then throws Gulak onto Truth just for fucking shits and giggles. And Gulak becomes the 24/7 champion, I believe. And that's your first hour. There's a million things I want to say, man, but I'll keep you guys here for over a fucking hour. I don't necessarily want to do that. I get no joy on tearing this show apart. I really don't. I wish I was speaking positively. You guys just check out recently, man, in recent videos for SmackDown when I'm talking about Roman and Jey Uso. You see the passion, positively, in my voice. And you see how excited I am for the possibilities of where it could go. That's how I love to speak, man. When I speak about Sasha and Bayley, you know, I love talking positively about pro wrestling. 9 out of 10 times with NXT and AEW even. You know, this show is just incapable to drive any positive emotion. I just don't understand how a show can be that fucking bad. I don't understand. Hour number 2 begins with AJ Styles finagling a triple threat match between Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Sheamus. And if Braun wins, he's on Team Raw at Survivor Series. I swear to you, this match took 10 minutes to set up. I'm not even joking. It took 10 minutes just to set up this bullshit. Just to get Strowman on this team for nonsensical purposes because the match itself is stupid as shit. At first, I'm in a deep sleep, I'm thinking, but then it dawns on me, no, it's a deep depression. Keith Lee versus Sheamus versus Braun Strowman. I'm not saying this was bad, per se. And there was certainly a level of physicality that is always welcomed. But truth be told, I didn't give a fuck about this. And that's the underlining issue with this fucking company, as aforementioned. Not only do they not make superstars, but they find a way to make you not give a fuck about them. They do the opposite of entertaining. They do the opposite of building someone up. Braun defeats Sheamus via the power slam. Braun is on Team Raw. Post-match, Sheamus bro kicks Braun. So all of that is to what? Make Braun look like a beast, like a fucking monster. And then when it's all said and done, Sheamus boots his dome piece off anyway. Who gets built up? Asking for a friend. Anybody that thinks I just nitpick or I critique too much. Overly negative. I'm asking who got built up here. Braun because he won? Because when it was all said and done, he was flat on his fucking ass. Was it Sheamus because he was the last man standing, per se? Well, he just lost. And Keith Lee, he was a non-factor. You forgot all about Keith Lee. He wasn't even involved in the final equation. At the end, they were all like shaking hands or being weary. Should I shake your hand? It's a pandem. I don't know if it's clean or not. And that's what they were thinking. They were all looking at each other like, does anybody have sanitizer? Nobody. Everything about this is stupid as fuck. You ever see those people that drive around alone in their cars with a fucking mask on? You ever see those fucking, they're dumb as fuck. And they try to justify it. They're like, well, it's easier for me because I go into many places. So instead of just taking it off 100 times, I keep it on. Or they try to say, I don't forget it that way. It's easier to remember it. Bro, take your fucking mask. You're in a car by yourself. If you seriously believe that air is gonna seep through your car and do you in, just stop driving at that point, dude. Just stay home. You're gonna be better off and everybody else will be around you. These fucking clowns that drive around alone in their car with masks. Dumb as fuck. There's zero reasoning behind it. It looks so fucking foolish. It's like watching Monday Night Raw. There's no fucking point. It's ridiculous and it all looks foolish. It's all stupid. We are now over an hour and a half into this show, and finally I get something that entertains me, the Firefly Funhouse. Bray says the letters of the day are RKO, and Abby the Witch says after what Orton did to them, he can go fuck himself. I think he even told Bray to fuck himself, too. I loved it. Alexa says, hey, we don't swear in the Funhouse, and whips out a swear jar. All I could think of is, man, if somebody whipped out a swear jar for BC, we'd have to do super chats just to pay for the swear jar. I love this, man. Bray tries to deliver a positive Funhouse-esque message, but he stops mid-sentence by flashbacks of Orton burning the site of Sister Abigail. So Bray says, unfortunately, he never forgets. And before they say goodbye, Alexa shows us a new trick she's been working on, and she does some freaky shit with her tongue. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter, alright, dudes? But she does do some freaky shit with her tongue. Even Bray says, oh, shit! So I love that, man. Again, for the first time all night, I was kind of into something, and of course, it doesn't last, because the Firefly Funhouses are skit segments, so they're not made to go 5-6 minutes, only a couple minutes. And before you know it, it was off the air and I was back into my slumber. But man, if I could just get a half an hour of Alexa and Bray,
I'd be a happy camper. So it was really good to see a Firefly Funhouse in the midst of this just burning dumpster fire. Hour number 2 ends with Nia Jax versus Lana. This is the second match for Nia Jax in the night. I don't know how or why this match is even happening. I don't know who thinks this is a good idea. I don't know who thinks anybody would want to see this. I mean, we saw them earlier and we were hoping that that was it. Nope. Nia was in a 90-second match with Lana after that tag match with Mandy and Dana. Somebody actually booked this and it was okayed. It was approved. It was probably the same dude that booked it and approved it. The old man in Stanford. But Nia wins this thing in 90 seconds, and Lana goes through another table. I believe this is 7 or 8 weeks in a row. It's a couple months now. For a couple months, she has been going through a table. And every single time, it looks more vicious and more vicious. There's only so many times that a big woman like Nia crushes you through a table. Lana is eventually, one of these weeks, going to get hurt, guys. I don't see any other way around it. There's only so many times you can get crushed like that. I mean, somebody is bound to make a mistake. I mean, that's a tough spot for a little girl like Lana to be having to go through. At what point does she say, hey, can I get... Like, where does anybody think this is going? Is she supposed to be a super face when this is all said and done? You know? Is this all going to culminate in that 1 week where she somehow defies the odds and doesn't go through a table, and we're supposed to go, wow! Wow, she did it! She fought back and she didn't go through! Nobody's going to be like, nobody's going to be talking about that in some epic way. So you're going through months of this shit. All for what moment? That moment where she finally doesn't go through the table. That's the epic shit that you're setting up. Lana is going to be one of your big bad faces in the company. So you throw Shayna in some weird tag team with Nia, even though if booked correctly, they could have been badass. But I knew they would butcher it like they did. So you throw Shayna to the side, just put her in a tag team. I have nothing for her. Bianca Belair sits on the sidelines for months, even though she's been ready to be used for months. And then you throw a bunch of vignettes with Bianca, and then you have her show up in a battle royal, and she loses it to all of Vince's blonde bombshells. And now she's back, and she's winning a couple of matches. But Vince will ruin that. Just wait for it. Vince will ruin Bianca Belair within the next 4 to 5 weeks, too. And that's being generous. Maybe next week. But all of these top females that should be ass kickers, no, all signs are pointing to Lana is going to get some crazy run. I just see this happening. First, she's going to get punished, obviously, for Miro and what he's doing in AEW. And then it became, I think, some sick joke for Vince. I think he's really getting his rocks off just seeing it happen every week. So this is only for his amusement. But I honestly feel he's setting Lana up for a push. Is that really one of the solutions for all of the problems in WWE? Because I assure you, that's not shade to Lana. I'm asking, is that really one of the solutions to make this company better? Lana being in championship matches. Lana getting spotlight. Lana having 12-minute matches. Is that really what's best for this fucking company? Asking for myself. That's not even for a friend. I can't even BS on that one. That's for me. I'm asking because it's rhetorical. I know the answer. That ended hour number 2, I believe. Hour number 3 is New Day versus Shelton and Cedric of the Hurt Business. That kicks off hour 3. It was a decent match. Sloppy towards the finish. I don't know if they were just getting winded or they fell apart, man. And they started, they just weren't on the same page anymore. And the finish saw Cedric score the pinfall. So Hurt Business takes the W. Earlier in the night, again, Bobby Lashley took a W. So Hurt Business, they took some W's here. That's good to see. I mean, I like the Hurt Business. Some consistency. But I mean, no retribution afterwards. Is that finally done? Because Ali said, oh, we're all going to take notice just how badass Retribution truly is. They're going to right their ship last night on Raw, so we didn't know what that meant. Are they going to decimate Hurt Business? No. Hurt Business has beaten them every single fucking show, it seems. And Retribution just was done with them. They're like, all right, we can't beat them. Let's move on. They didn't even try to go after the Fiend. No. The Fiend's bullying us. We don't want him either. So they go after fucking little old Ricochet. No, I'm not even kidding, guys. Up next was Ricochet defeating Tucker in less than 60 seconds clean. 60 seconds! All of the momentum from turning Tucker on Otis, all of the momentum that Tucker had, gone! It was all for nothing. Because he just lost in 60 seconds on his own to fucking Ricochet. How the fuck does that decision get made? It is unfucking real to me. It's unreal to me that that decision was made to make Tucker look like that horrendous of a jobber. His first real time out after just turning on Otis, and he jobs out in 60 seconds to fucking Ricochet. I can't even fucking believe that that shit would actually happen, man, on anybody's fucking watch. But nobody I should say, nobody who knew that was happening, nobody had the fucking balls to stand up to Vince and say, Vince, hold on. This can't happen, man. You're gonna ruin Tucker right now. That is literally going to be the end of Tuck. Post-match, Retribution attacks Ricochet, and that was the huge statement that Mufasa, that was the big statement that he said was going to be made. He said we're all going to see how legit Retribution is, and they did just that by beating up little old Ricochet. Wow, how badass is Retribution? They really told us. What the fuck were we thinking making fun of the masks and the names? How dare you make fun of T-Bitch? How dare you make fun of Slap Tits? How dare you make fun of Skittles McDookie? How dare you make fun of Mace? Because he thought that he told all of us that he won't stop. Bad boy for life, and you don't make fun of Mace? P. Diddy? Notorious? Gonna make fun of Retribution. Oh no. No, Ali vowed that our eyes were gonna be open last night and they were gonna show us just how badass they are. And they wanted no part of Hurt Business. They've already got beaten enough. They're not even gonna try to squash that. They're just gonna run away from them. They're not even gonna try to squash anything with Bray. They're gonna run away from them. We'll deal with you guys another time. We have to listen, we said something and now we have to back it up. And we can't do that, so we gotta find one of the smaller dudes. Oh, Ricochet's got a match. Let's go. Let's go. Let's jump Ricochet. Ricochet's like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? What the fuck? I don't even got beef with you anymore. Ricochet's clueless, right? Retribution, man. Now they're beating up Ricochet. And this is going to lead to what? Ricochet and Ali into 2021. Wow, this is great. This is like watching Cruiserweight division all over again. Main event, Drew McIntyre versus Miz and Morrison. Actually a good match, good pace, good action. No major complaints, to be honest with you. Drew defeats Miz via the Claymore, but the finish of Raw was so pathetic and written in the most lazy of all fashions imaginable. Orton RKO's Drew post-match with the quickness, and then we hear the Fiend's laughter, and it seemed so damn rushed. RKO, laughter, off the air, all within 10 seconds. Obviously, they fucked up on the time management. But we were all left like, that's it? All 3 hours was for that? Like, there's nothing else? You're a $1 billion conglomerate company with a 3-hour cable show. You're leading into your 4th biggest pay-per-view of the year. You're about to end 2020. You want to do it with a bang. You're thinking, man, they're going to get some type of creativity here, man. Something cool's got to happen, right? No, you got to remember you're watching Monday Night Raw. Drew wins, RKO, some laughter. That's it. Let's go to the next show. Let's just get this over with. I understand we're all through with 2020. I get it. Care about what you're putting out there, dude. Care about it. Care about it. We're tuning in. We're just asking for one little thing. We're not asking you to move mountains. We're not asking for anything fucking monumental. We're just asking you to entertain us. Even 35%, 33, 1/3 of the fucking show, just entertain us somehow. That's all I'm asking for. Aside from fucking Bray, Wyatt, and Alexa entertaining me, which is about a couple of minutes of the show, nothing else is memorable. What are you going to remember about this show in 7 days or tomorrow? Right now, what are you remembering if I didn't just review it? Fuck! I take a break. Just a few weeks ago, I took a nice fucking break. I take a fucking break and I say, you know what? I'm going to fucking come back and there's going to be no jaded aspect to my reviews. I'm going to come back like a fucking total fan first before any critiquing, before any journalistic approach that I take. I am going to first and foremost watch as a fan, just in case I lost sight of that. And that's what I did. And it was just as bad as I thought it was. Watching as a pure, sheer fan is so fucking bad. I feel so bad for anybody who's about 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old-ish, that age frame. You know, senior in high school, going into college, whatever. That whole age range, late teens, early 20s, when for me, wrestling was like at its apex. It was at its best. It was around that Attitude Era, I believe, and it was just, man, you wore your wrestling shirts to school because it was cool. And I'm talking high school, not middle school. You were wearing wrestling shirts to high school because that's how popular and how cool wrestling was. And you talked about it, and you couldn't wait to go home and watch. I mean, you were spending, your girlfriend, you told her not on Monday night? Nope. You ain't going anywhere. You ain't going to fucking, Dave and Buster's or whatever the fuck was around there back there, the local bowling alley or the skating rink. You weren't going anywhere, man. On Monday nights, you had to be watching pro wrestling, and your girlfriend understood. Your girlfriend back in the day was probably watching with you. The ladies were into that shit too. You know, and now I couldn't even imagine being that age range and having to put up with this type of fucking bullshit. Like, I don't know what would entertain that age range especially. I really don't. I see nothing on the show that would appeal to anybody about 17 to 25 even. Nothing. Literally nothing. Guys, I could do this for hours, man. I know it seems like I'm harsh a lot of the times. I'm over critiquing. It seems like I'm overly negative. It seems like I'm an asshole and all that. And that's fine. That's fine. I can be all of that, and maybe I do all of that. Maybe I do over-critique. Maybe I do overanalyze. Maybe I am very harshly negative. But I feel it's for justified reasons. Because if I don't do these type of reviews the way I do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it the way I do it. In which case, then we just have people feeding you bullshit and feeding the flock of sheep. That's all we're doing. And we're feeding the machine in the process. And in the process, the company is just going to suffer. The rating will go down to 1.6, then 1.5, and then what? 1.3, 1.2, 1. It will keep going down into the point where USA Network boots it. And maybe that'll be for the best. But it'll also be sad to see Monday Night Raw get canceled. I don't necessarily want to see WWE fail. I don't want to see them booted from the USA Network. But the show sucks. And any show that sucks, I'll be the first to say it needs to be taken off the air. So I have to stay true to that mindset. Just because I love pro wrestling, I can't show favoritism to it. The show sucks and needs to be altered or literally booted. I don't want to see it get booted, so I'm hoping it gets altered in some huge way. It needs a complete overhaul. It needs to be 360, 180, 240, flip-flopped, turned upside down, umpteen times. It needs a spark. It needs a pulse. These shows need life. From top to bottom, beginning to end, start to finish, the shows suck. Fourth biggest pay-per-view of the year, Survivor Series. The card sucks. Even Sasha and Asuka, which is a damn good match on paper. We've seen it so much over the summer. And now here we are at the end of 2020, and it's like, I don't need to see that again. At least not this soon. Randy Orton versus Roman. Why? You just had the title on Drew. Drew versus Roman. Roman is playing his best role ever in this heel role. Drew has the championship, and he's one of your, if not the top face. Have them collide. That's a badass match with a badass face and a badass heel. No, they throw the title on Orton for some reason to have heel versus heel. Orton versus Roman. And I just can't get excited for that. Not saying it won't be a good wrestling match if they so choose to go that route. But at this point, it's just who's going to out-heel the other. I guess that's the most exciting factor. I'd rather Drew McIntyre at his face status versus Drew in his heel... Roman in his heel status. You have them collide. No, they throw the belt on Roman. Now we have heel versus heel. It doesn't make sense. Bobby Lashley taking on Sami Zayn. Come on, your fourth biggest pay-per-view worthy? No, maybe on Raw or maybe on SmackDown I'll watch that match. 5-on-5, men's Raw team versus men's SmackDown team. I literally give zero fucks about that. Literally, I will not care about that one iota. Even the participants, they just, nothing sparks any interest in me. The women, oh my God, have you seen the Raw ladies? That speaks volumes right there. Speaks volumes. Who the fuck's getting excited about that 5-on-5? What else do you have on Survivor Series? I don't even know. I don't know. What am I saying? New Day versus Street Profits. Yeah. It should be good wrestling, BC. Good wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, I can see great wrestling at the local bingo hall. Every single Saturday night, sometimes on Friday. But I need more than that, man. It's pro wrestling. Good wrestling is an aspect of it. This is WWE, but we need we need larger than life characters. We need cool storylines to captivate us. We need feuds that we give a shit about. We need culminating moments. Street Profits and New Day is gonna give us any of that? Okay. Alright. Alright guys, future BC here, man. I had to cut that last segment short because I went on and rambled another 5 minutes, and I was basically talking in circles, saying the same shit but in a different way, on just how pathetic, how lazy, how unacceptable this Raw and these Raws have been. And I just tried to, I think I was just reminding myself that, man, so I was really talking to myself that last 5 minutes. Like, just how fucking, you review it and you're reminded instantly how bad they are. You know while you're watching it, but then you kind of sleep it off, right? And then you hope that it's gonna get better. Nah, motherfucker, it's that fucking bad. And I gotta review it. We gotta review it together, and we see the same exact thing. We're reminded just how fucking bad it is. So, I cut it short, man, for you guys. I'm not gonna keep you here 5 extra minutes. Whoop today's ass, man. I only wanted to talk about this show a half an hour and less, but that Dunkin' Donuts cereal, man, that coffee cereal, we were loaded, man. We went almost another hour here in this review, so thank you for everybody that tuned in for every minute. I wish there was more positivity in it. I know you guys wish the same, just not the case. So, I would like to say maybe next week, but not with this fucking show. Maybe SmackDown, man. Sometimes they produce some good shit. But much love to you guys. Whoop today's ass, baby. Red team, go! Check you later.